G'day, Steve Morgan here from ABT. I've got Geoff Newby here, who was last year's one of the Team of the Year members from Team Lawrence Likely Lads. And Geoff, you've got a bit of a simple tip for us which will help your barra fishing, because you are not going to get chewed off as much if you do this.
Exactly.
What is it?
Well, over the years there's been a lot of debates going on about fluorocarbons versus monos. And we were going through problems of getting chewed off using fluorocarbons because theoretically it's invisible to the fish, so it's a preferred lure. But also BARRA, where they strike, is I don't think they're that choosy on whether it's a fluorocarbon or a mono. So there were a guy who we met a few years ago who told us about this line that the live trout anglers were using on the reef, which obviously is not breaking strain wise, but it's the abrasiveness that's going to make the difference. So we got onto it, and it's a Schneider, and we use 3 different sizes. There's a 45, a 55 and a 70, and it's depending on where we're fishing. So the 45 Schneider is mainly for the smaller barra fishing open water. 55 is the choice that, for instance, at Peter Faust, where the bigger fish but out in the open. And then if we get into the trees where there's a chance we're going to have to chase barra and we need that bit longer time, we use a 70 Schneider. So it is a very good abrasive, and Steve were telling me earlier he were using fluorocarbons, and since he has changed to Schneider, he's not been chewed off.
And I think the theory of it is it's a uniform material throughout. That fluorocarbon tends to have a hard outer layer, and as soon as the barra rub through it, what happens to the breaking strength?
Yeah, that's right. With the fluorocarbon, it's got that hard casing, and I did see an experiment years ago where they did an abrasive test and showing how rapid the breaking strain of fluorocarbon deteriorates, whereas on a mono it was more linear as it were wearing away. So you've still got some good strength in. And I mean, we're not fishing 55 pound, 70 pound leader because we need the breaking strain. We're fishing it because we need the abrasiveness.
Yep. And
one of the other issues, what I think some people might have, is that Schneider is very cheap line.
Yep.
You know, you're paying big money for fluorocarbons, but Schneider's cheap, but it does its job.
You've got one here, haven't you? This is an example.
Yeah, this is one that last night we were out on a pre-fish. So this is a
Let's hold it up to the camera.
Slicky, and you can see how that was chewed on it was about an 80 centimetre fish. Good, healthy fish, and put up a fair fight. But I would have no problem continue to using that on a pre-fish, but I'm just setting up for the tournament tonight. So I would never use it. I'd retie that in a tournament, yeah.
Well, there you go. If you're having problems getting chewed off by big barra, give the Schneider a go, and you too might put more in the boat.